Not too many years ago, a company called Turing Robotic Industries randomly appeared on the smartphone scene. They announced a phone called the Turing Phone, and it garnered a lot of attention. And there were a few reasons for this, but I think primarily was because it looked unlike any phone we'd ever seen before. People were kind of torn. Some people thought this is the future of what phones are going to look like, and other people thought it looked outright disgusting. Now, there's one thing that very few people could deny though, that this was one secure device, both inside and out. In fact, it was so secure, the company had to not only ditch the headphone jack, but also come up with its own proprietary charger. Not only that, but by the time the phone had reached a semi-final model, the company had to completely ditch Android. They were running pretty much their own OS, known as Sailfish OS, which was a huge downside to the phone in the end, and probably led to its ultimate destruction. Even outside, the phone was made of something called liquid morphium, a compound that was essentially many times stronger than stainless steel, which for most people in most usage case scenarios is kind of excessive. And even amidst quite a few delays, there was so much hype for this device. But ultimately, it ended up being a complete disaster. When it was eventually released to the public, it had a poor battery life, a poor camera, and a very dated chipset. And this is where it gets very interesting, because after this complete commercial failure, the company disappears, they retreat for a bit, and no one really hears anything from them. Until September 2016, Turing Robotic Industries comes out and announces a new phone, known as the Turing Phone Cadenza. And this phone, let's just say, has some pretty interesting specifications. We have a 5.8-inch Quad HD display, and not one, but two Snapdragon 830 series chipsets inside of it. No idea how that's meant to work. On top of that, we've got 12 GB of RAM, and hear this, a quad 60 megapixel rear camera. Combine that with a dual 20 megapixel front camera, 1 terabyte of storage, and we've got a pretty hefty phone on our hands. And once again, the public was completely divided. On one hand, you've got people who are all aboard the hype train, because of course this is a legit company that has produced phones in the past, so of course this is going to be real too. And these people are crazy excited because they can't wait to get their hands on this super powered phone coming out in 2017 apparently. And then of course you've got the skeptics who are looking at this spec sheet and thinking, what a load of rubbish. I mean, how do you even have two Snapdragon 830s working together? They're not coded to do that. Long story short, they didn't deliver, and shortly afterwards, their Twitter account was seized because of their inability to pay their business partners, which I thought was hilarious. Now, to be honest, even if that was the end of the story, I'd say it's a pretty good tale. But it's not, because this company just doesn't give up. They are back again, and they've got a new, legitimate smartphone. So it's called the Turing Appassionato. I definitely said that wrong. But anyway, it is a phone running Android N. It has got a 5.5-inch 2K display and 8 GB of RAM. It's also got 128 GB of internal storage and a similar liquid morphium shell to the previous devices, so it's going to be more or less indestructible. However, as we know with this company, they can never do something normally. So first of all, it's got the fairly dated now Snapdragon 821 chipset, which is a little bit annoying, but on the other hand, and probably a plus point here, is the Sir Alan. Now this is the assistant built inside of it, and unlike Google Assistant or Siri, this is an actual human. So when you buy this phone, you essentially get a 24/7 concierge service, 365 days per year. So anytime you want assistance, it could be whether you want to book a taxi, book a hotel, book a flight, you simply call on the concierge and they will sort it out for you. So what's happening now? Well, you might have seen a few review sites have managed to get hold of samples. I'm also trying to get one for this channel. If we do get one, we can delve quite a bit deeper into the phone. And who knows? I mean, this company clearly has big ambitions. These guys want to change the entire smartphone industry, but at the same time, judging by their past history, I can't say we have much hope. But it's interesting nonetheless. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.